I lost the dare, so I have to message someone of the opposite sex. I'm pregnant with your child from that night. If you don't believe me, send me 100 and I'll show you the test. I sent it to my childhood friend without hesitation. The reply came back in seconds. You got pregnant just from a kiss? Wait, I'll take you myself. After sending the message, I continued to have fun with my friends and didn't check my messages. When I looked at my phone again, I was stunned. The notifications had already reached 99 plus. You got pregnant just from a kiss? Wait, I'll take you myself. Don't worry, I'll take responsibility. But wait, how could you possibly get pregnant from a kiss? Zoe, you need to be clear with me. Zoe, whose child are you really carrying? Where are you? Don't think you can escape by hiding. You have to explain everything to me today. It can't be that Ryan who was chasing you before, right? Didn't I already cut him off? How is that possible?
Who is that?
Could it be the chubby kid from class 2? He's so ugly, you wouldn't be interested in him either. Forget it, I'm not interested. I'm not the gossiping type. No, I can't understand it either. Haven't you always had high standards? How did you end up falling so low? If you're going to look for someone, at least find someone more handsome than me. At least I haven't seen anyone more handsome than me so far. Who on earth is it? Zoe, tell me, I'll go find him. It can't be that little thug from the school next door, right? I only saw him once, didn't I? He should still be in the hospital after I beat him up like that. You're not planning to cut ties with me because of that dog of a man, are you? Don't say I didn't warn you. A man like that is not worth it. Don't let his sweet talk fool you. Hurry up and reply to me. If you don't reply, I'm going to find your mom. Zoe, what on earth are you doing? You're not thinking of doing something foolish, are you? Zoe, please don't think of doing something foolish. If the sky falls, I'll hold it up for you. If that dog of a man is irresponsible, I can take responsibility too. From now on, I'll be the child's father. Zoe, you mustn't do anything foolish. Tell me where you are, and I'll come find you. I'll go with you for the checkup. Don't ignore me. If you don't reply soon, I'm going to your house to look for you. I can't guarantee how your parents will react. This person must be crazy. I replied to him. Are you out of your mind? Sending so many messages. The other side replied instantly. Zoe, you finally replied to me. I took a taxi and rushed home. With Chase acting like this, he's probably already sitting in my living room. If my parents are there, they will definitely ask what's going on when they see him like this. I can hardly imagine what will happen next. After returning home, he sat on the ground in front of my house. Looking at me with a dog-like expression, he said, Look at the time. Do you even know to go home? I shot him a glance and prepared to open the door. Luckily, my parents weren't home. Why haven't you replied to my message? Are you with that dog of a man? Tell me, who is he? I shot him a glare. Where did our understanding go? I only sent this after losing the big gamble, and I can only send this kind of information to you. Don't lie to me. I don't believe you. Believe it or not. Really? Then why haven't you been replying to my messages all this time?
Didn't see them.
I sent so many, and you didn't see a single one? Can you stop bothering me all the time? He lay back on the sofa and said slowly, All right then, school starts in a couple of days, so I guess I'll carry my own luggage, right? Sometimes you just have to admit defeat. Good people don't fight with dogs. I'm soft-spoken. Brother, it's not impossible to help a little. He glanced at me with a hint of pride. What a character. We exchanged a few more playful words, and then he went downstairs to go home and sleep. I have known Chase since we were in diapers. He has always suppressed me from childhood to adulthood. He would snatch my comic books, supervise my studies, not let me stay up late, and when I sneaked some takeout, he would tell my mom. When I was admiring a handsome guy's abs, he would make sarcastic comments beside me. My parents found him particularly pleasing to the eye and told me not to be so unruly all the time, to learn from him more, and in the end, they simply had him keep an eye on me. I thought to myself, he can just use that scoundrel face to confuse my parents. I thought that after going to university, I could finally get rid of him. I didn't expect to end up at the same university again. We really are fated. A cursed fate. Now my parents are incredibly happy. Even before the semester starts, I've already had a small meeting with him. Chase, go to school and keep an eye on Zoe for us. Don't let her run wild at school. We're entrusting our daughter to you, so take good care of her and love her, okay? What kind of nonsense is this? Marrying off our daughter? If she doesn't listen, just tell her. Never hold back. If any boys are pursuing her, you must stop them. Don't give them a chance. But with her like this, there shouldn't be any boys who can handle it anyway. You should remember to keep in touch often and discuss things together when there are issues. Uncle and Aunt can only help up to this point. From now on, it will depend on you. I really can't stand it anymore, Mom and Dad. We're just going to school. It's like we're never coming back. Chase had a smile on his face. Uncle and Aunt, don't worry. I'll take good care of Zoe. Absolutely love her well, he said, dragging out the last syllable, slyly glancing at me. This guy is so full of himself right now. It's really infuriating to watch. The first day of school, Chase and I rented a car together, and he did all the lifting and moving. I sipped my milk tea while playing on my phone. Chase, this devil, can attract attention wherever he goes. A few girls passing by said, Look, he's so handsome. Really quick, take a picture. Lower your voice. Don't let him hear. Chase's lips curled up as he looked at them. Are you not coming over to take a picture? Be clear about it. Is this person sick? A few girls quickly waved their hands and left. I gave him a glance. But obviously it's you. Look at my brother's rate of turning heads this time. Don't be born into blessings and not know their worth. I forced out a hypocritical, unconvincing fake smile. Chase, this scumbag, really started turning heads from the school gate, making girls look back at him repeatedly. Even the dormitory matron smiled and handed him a bottle of cola. After we each completed our procedures, he helped me move my luggage to the dormitory entrance. I said, All right, just leave it at the door. You little heartless one, I won't pay attention to you after using me. Saying this, they lazily rubbed my head. What are you going in for? Although it was said that on the day of the report, for the convenience of parents dropping off their children, boys are allowed to come and go in the girls' dormitory to help with moving luggage. But I think I can handle it myself from here on out. I'll help you organize it. If I don't help you, you'll probably take 3 days to finish. As he said this, he carried his luggage inside by himself. I looked at his broad shoulders and sturdy back and couldn't help but smile. In the dormitory, the other girls all had their parents helping them. At this moment, such a handsome guy was making my bed in the dorm, causing a few of my roommates' eyes to light up. I could feel their curiosity bubbling over. After I helped him organize everything, Chase took out a bag of something from his backpack, which I couldn't tell what it was. Your day is coming soon, so don't drink anything cold lately. I'm leaving now. If there's anything, call me. Don't cause trouble just because I'm not around. I shot him a glare. Fine, just hurry up and go. As soon as Chase left, several roommates gathered around. Is this your boyfriend? He's so handsome. I casually replied him. So fierce, always ready to argue for no reason. Not gentle at all. Who would want him as a boyfriend? So considerate yet not gentle. Even making your bed. Are you two high school classmates? We have a friendship of open crotch pants. Oh dear, still childhood sweethearts. On the first day of school, because of Chase, I quickly became close with a few roommates. They even became fans of our couple. What can I do? I can't refute it at all. After a day of tossing and turning, lying in bed at night, I scrolled through my phone, feeling a bit bored, so I opened the chat interface with Chase. I'll tell you a little secret. The other side replies instantly, let it go. It seems like they are quite free at the moment. I found out today that the boy I have a crush on actually likes the girl next door. How could I not know you have a crush? Really? I'm feeling very down right now. I've lost hope in this world. You tell me who he is first. I searched online, and I might have severe depression, and I might just die. Enough nonsense. Who is it? I looked it up again, and it said that to alleviate it, I must have a handsome guy treat me to milk tea. And it has to be the kind with half sugar and tapioca and coconut jelly. The other side fell silent. Are you pretending to be dumb? May I ask how you managed to be talking 1 second and then not breathing the next? I see you don't need to ease up. Depression is quite nice. It's a bit quieter by your ears. The friendship of gentlemen is as en Rousseau. How ruthless. I can't be bothered to pay attention to him, so I continue scrolling on my phone. About 20 minutes later, I suddenly received his voice message. Come downstairs. Your medicine is about to arrive. I bought your roommate's share too. It's better not to say that childhood friends are closer. I dashed down the stairs excitedly. When I walked in with a big bag of milk tea, my roommates went wild. Jasmine, my roommate, said while sipping her milk tea, "Don't deny it, he really likes you." Yeah, he really loves you. Done, I've fallen for it. I won't watch idol dramas anymore. Just watching you all is enough for me to fangirl over. I firmly rebutted. He really doesn't like me. We've had this dynamic since we were kids. I'm used to it. Impossible. Which childhood friend can do this? I continued to argue. Which childhood friend can bully me like he does? After a few rounds back and forth, I was too lazy to explain anymore. The reason I am so sure that Chase doesn't like me is that he told me himself in high school that he liked my desk mate. Back in high school, I saw him slip a little note into my desk mate Evelyn's desk. The girl was indeed petite and cute. I couldn't help but want to touch her. Oh, my gossiping heart. The first time I saw Chase slip a note to a girl, I was curious about what it said. I couldn't help but sneak a peek, and to my surprise, it was a love letter. Unable to hold back, I immediately went to ask him with the note in hand. At first, he didn't admit it was his writing. Does he think I wouldn't recognize his scrawled handwriting? In the end, after I pressed him and he couldn't come up with an excuse, he admitted that he liked Evelyn. Although I had already guessed most of it when I pressed him, hearing it come from his own mouth still felt a bit unbelievable. I asked him if he had a pig's brain. What was the use of just stuffing notes? As a friend, I was determined to support him at that time. Chase brings me milk, orange juice, and the like every day. I urged him. What's the use of just delivering to me? You should give some to Evelyn. Later, every time he brought something, he prepared 2 portions, one for me and one for Evelyn. However, even though I assisted him, he really didn't think of me in anything he did, and I gradually developed a feeling of discomfort. It was probably around that time that I realized I seemed to like Chase. Later, Evelyn was directly sent abroad to study by her family. It seemed that the two of them just drifted apart, and Chase never mentioned her again. Just now, on the way to the dorm, a girl asked him for his Facebook. He casually replied, "I'm taken." I thought to myself, this person is really devoted, staying true to Evelyn. So, how could he possibly like me? After school started, the opportunities for Chase and me to mess around together decreased. We just kept the habit of teasing each other on our phones every day. It felt like something was missing if we didn't poke fun at each other a couple of times each day. That morning after class, my roommate and I went to the cafeteria for lunch. Just after we sat down, a seemingly harmless little handsome guy sat down across from me, looking fair and clean. He opened his mouth and said, "Junior, what a coincidence, you actually got into this school too." I collected 800 portraits in my mind, but I still couldn't figure out who he is.
Who are you?
Don't you remember me? Ryan. We participated in the debate competition together in our sophomore year. A man changes greatly after turning 18? I have an impression of this person. Back then, he was just a small kid, wearing black-framed glasses, very gentle and refined. Suddenly turning into a tall, handsome guy at 180 centimeters, I really couldn't recognize him. "It's you, Ryan." He saw that I recognized him and smiled with his eyes squinted. The junior finally remembered. Meeting his fate, let's add each other on Facebook.
Okay.
At that moment, Chase suddenly appeared out of nowhere and snatched my phone away. He then pushed Ryan aside and sat down directly across from me. "Why don't we add each other on Facebook first? There's no difference between her and me." Although I'm talking to him, my eyes are always fixed on me. I snatched my phone back and said, "What does this have to do with you?" Then I opened the QR code and added Ryan on Facebook. He frowned slightly and said, "Your mom said that I have to keep an eye on all aspects of your life at school. You just casually add men on Facebook. Don't use my mom's trivial words as an order. You don't even live by the sea, so why are you so meddlesome? The person across from me huffed. Zoe, you've become something else. You forget your friends for a pretty face. I shot him a glance. What? He can think about someone else, but I can't even add a guy on Facebook? He always comes sniffing around like a dog. It's really strange. Every time a boy gets close, he always appears right on cue to cut it off. Does this person have a grudge against me? It's not like I didn't end up with his white moonlight or anything. Is it really necessary? After returning to the dorm, my roommate said, "He definitely likes you." I was speechless. He just likes to control me. It's been like this since I was little. He doesn't like you, so why do you keep blocking other guys from getting close? I firmly retorted. He's jealous of me. His white moonlight has left, and he's suffering inside. My roommate sighed. How about we give it a try? To be honest, it's hard not to be moved when facing such a handsome guy every day. Although he always contradicts me, he has never missed my birthday, has always been there when I was sick, and even during my period, he would make me brown sugar water and warm my belly. I just always felt that he didn't like me, so I didn't dare to let my heart go any further. Maintaining this kind of relationship is quite good. I said it didn't matter, but deep down I was still a bit hopeful. So I secretly asked, how do we try? Based on my years of experience, I can tell that Ryan is definitely interested in you today. Just wait, he will ask you out, and when that happens, you should go. Then let Chase meet you both together, and I guarantee he will be jealous. I'm half convinced. I'm not close with Ryan, so why would he ask me out? Don't say my roommate isn't accurate. The next day, Ryan sent a message. Hey, Junior. Are you free today? We didn't get to talk much last time we met, and we can consider ourselves old friends now. I'll treat you to dinner tonight. Encouraged by my roommate, I agreed to Ryan's invitation. Ryan said he would play basketball at the court in the afternoon and meet at 5 o'clock to head out together. I thought since I had nothing to do in the afternoon, I would go to the court early to take a look. Actually, I just wanted to see if Chase was around. When I arrived at the playground, I could see a few girls sitting in a row by the basketball court from a distance. As expected, Chase was there too. It goes without saying that most of those girls were there to see him. His casual and laid-back demeanor was simply too eye-catching. After making a handsome three-pointer, Chase left the court to get some water. A group of girls rushed forward to hand him drinks. I sighed to myself, as expected. The childhood friend is grown up and can no longer be kept. He then turned around, preparing to walk to the shade. Suddenly, he turned his head and looked at me, throwing the ball to the boy next to him. He ran over a few steps and casually draped his arm over my shoulder. It was heavy and drenched in sweat. I pushed him away with a look of disdain. Don't touch me. You're all sweaty. Then I added, aren't you afraid of being seen by your little fans? You're blocking your romantic prospects. The corner of his mouth curled up as he teased. Haven't you blocked enough over the years? There aren't even any petals left. Hee hee. Come on. Since you came specifically to see me, let me treat you to a meal. Dream on, I didn't come just to see you. I have an appointment later. Let's have a meal another day. I looked up and saw Ryan in the distance, waving at me as he ran over. Did you wait long, Junior? I smiled and said, no, I just got here. Chase looked shocked. When did you two get so close? I replied, now. Chase raised his voice a notch. Zoe, you didn't hear a word I said, did you? I shot him a glance and said, are you going to interfere with my normal friendships too? His eyes narrowed slightly, and then he smirked. Well, since you all made plans, it wouldn't hurt to have me along, right? Does this guy really not consider himself an outsider? Finally, we went together to a barbecue restaurant at the school gate. As soon as we entered, Chase naturally sat next to me and insisted on sitting close. I grumbled, can you not stick to me when you're all sweaty?
What?
Is it usually like this, not being affectionate in front of other men? It's just you and me, one sentence after another, arguing endlessly. Ryan asked, are you in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship? I quickly replied, of course not. Chase lazily said, well, we are good friends who have kissed and slept in the same bed. I shot him a glare. Are you sick? I wasn't at first, but I just got infected. He snorted coldly. I couldn't help but say, Chase, don't make me slap you. Chase pretended to be wronged, saying, how could you slap me in front of others? Playing dirty? Fine, I won't argue with the dog. But the dog insists on competing with me. Ryan had been grilling meat beside me, constantly adding it to my bowl. On the other side, Chase seemed to be in a competition with him, continuously transferring food from my bowl to his. It was utterly embarrassing. I said irritably, are you a starving ghost? Eating so much. I see you talking a lot, but you don't have time to eat. The three of us had a really tough time with this meal. Ryan's embarrassment was palpable. I had to clean up the mess. After we got back, I gave Ryan the portion of money that belonged to me and Chase, and I also apologized to Ryan. My roommate leaned over and asked, how is it? Did the two rivals meet? I sighed. Not only did they meet, but they also had a meal together. I told my roommates about the whole process. The more they listened, the more shy they became, and they all agreed. Chase just likes me. There's no hope. In the end, I lazily said, I think we shouldn't test it anymore. That person and I are just not meant to be. A month into the new semester, Chase and I were still bickering daily. Until National Day, when we went home together. A few good classmates from high school made plans to get together. On Facebook, everyone was chattering away, and I was usually the observer. A. Let's go sing after dinner tonight. B. Isn't that an all-nighter? A. Of course, no one should leave. A. Chase, Zoe. You two shouldn't always leave early. B. They have to go back home and still chat until the early morning. You guys just don't understand. Me. Pang. Don't come out at midnight. I'm afraid you'll get bitten by a dog. C. I heard Evelyn is back. Let's call her to join us. I was stunned. How did she come back? There is an indescribable feeling in my heart. A. What about Chase? Evelyn is back, and you're not coming out to say a word. A. Are you still thinking about them? Chase. What does it have to do with me? Just keep pretending. I wonder how long you can keep it up. On the day of the gathering, Chase and I set off together. When we arrived at the restaurant, we casually found a spot to sit together. Classmates arrived one after another. It wasn't long before Evelyn showed up. It had been a long time since we last met, and she had indeed become more mature. Her style leaned more towards Western fashion, with a touch more femininity than during high school. A classmate jumped out to speak. Long time no see. The beautiful Evelyn is getting more and more beautiful. Evelyn, the beautiful girl, quickly came to sit next to our Chase. She smiled and walked straight over, sitting beside Chase. It's no wonder I have such a big mouth. These classmates are so good at making a fuss, and it's all thanks to me. In high school, after I found out that Chase wrote a love letter, the whole grade knew by the second break. Chase liked Evelyn and even wrote her a love letter. How great it felt to say it back then. Now I regret it just as much. After Evelyn sat down, she started chatting with Chase. Chase, it's been a while, and you look even more handsome. Not bad. I heard you and Zoe are at the same school now. I really didn't want to listen to the two of them talk. So I got up and sat down across from the round table. Chase saw me change seats and shouted at me, Hey, why are you over there? Come back. I pretended not to care and replied, Giving you some personal space. He got up and sat down next to me, poking me with his arm. Don't think I don't know you want to sit with the class monitor. You two are off during school. Me. Look, I can like girls myself, but I'm not allowed to talk to boys, not even sit together. During the meal, I was a bit absent-minded while eating and didn't want to argue with him anymore. Everyone was either chatting about their university life or occasionally mentioning Chase and Evelyn. Suddenly, Pang said, Chase, Zoe, you two used to fight as soon as you met, so why are you sitting together so quietly today? There's definitely something wrong. I snorted coldly. I just couldn't be bothered to pay him any attention. After finishing dinner, I didn't feel like singing anymore. I told everyone that I had something else to do and wouldn't be going. On the other side, Evelyn also said she had something to do and wouldn't be going. Chase immediately added, Then I won't go either. Let's plan for next time. Great. eager to send off the white moonlight. Then I just walked out on my own. Chase stepped forward in 3 strides, one arm draped over my shoulder. What's up with you today? Have you turned over a new leaf? Not even bickering with me. I shrugged off his arm. You really have a wide sense of control. TSH, I'm not going to argue with you, I'm going home. He rubbed my head. You send your white moonlight away. I'll go back by myself. He was taken aback for a moment. What white moonlight? I glanced at him, sneered coldly. Don't play dumb. He was silent for a moment. You can't be talking about Evelyn, right? He chuckled softly. Zoe, are you jealous? I retorted. How is that possible? You're giving yourself too much credit. The taxi arrived just in time, and I jumped into the car in a flash, leaving Chase alone, confused in the wind. In the rearview mirror, I saw him still shouting something. Never mind, let him be. After getting home, I collapsed on the sofa. Tonight, I'm the only one at home. My parents went on a business trip to a neighboring city and won't be back until tomorrow at the earliest. I lay on the sofa, muttering various curses to myself, saying that I value romance over friendship, but I see you as the one who values romance over friendship. The smile reached all the way to the back molars. If I like it, I like it. Am I such a petty person? Still pretending to be clueless. It's hilarious. Up until now, there hasn't been a single piece of information. Men. As expected, childhood sweethearts are all someone else's. Don't even think about coming to my house to eat my mom's braised chicken feet anymore. Braised pig trotters are off the table too. Just as I was crazily out putting, the doorbell rang. I got up cursing, and when I looked through the peephole, it was Chase. He actually knows to come? Don't think I'll give you any good face. I opened the door, glancing to the side. What do you want? Zoe, what are you thinking? It's so late, and you didn't wait for me to come home. What if something happened? Why are you talking to me about this nonsense now? I said casually. It's better for me to get into trouble than for her, right? Did you send her back? He seemed a bit amused by my irritation. I didn't send her at all. Her boyfriend came to pick her up. Why would I need to send her? I was wondering how you came back so quickly. It turns out you didn't manage to curry favor, so you ran back. Zoe, if you keep this up, I'll think you're jealous. Chase looked at me, a faint smile playing at the corners of his mouth. I couldn't be bothered with him and turned to leave. In fact, I didn't want him to notice my unease. He grabbed my collar and lifted me up like a chick, hanging in midair. I have a dark expression, Chase. You're still in elementary school. He doesn't seem to intend to let me down, just keeps smiling at me. Let me down quickly. You're too high up. I'm about to suffocate. He smirked slightly, loosening his grip, and I thought I was going to fall. The next second, he supported my waist again, and I fell directly into his arms. My cheeks were burning, and my heart was racing. It goes without saying that my face must have been bright red at that moment. He kept staring at me, leaning down and getting even closer, with a smile at the corners of his mouth and a hint of teasing in his voice. Why is your face so red? Are you running a fever? Although we usually have our arms around each other, at this moment, with that handsome face so close, I couldn't help but feel my heart flutter. I pretended to be calm and pushed him away. It's getting late. I won't see you to the door. Did I say I was leaving? Are you going to sleep here instead? He simply closed the door and walked straight to the sofa, lying down on it. Isn't it? You didn't even ask the owner of this house and just took it upon yourself? He closed his eyes lazily, saying that it was the owner of this house who sent me here. Your mom said to let me sleep with you. Very well. Using my mom as a shield again. When my parents were on business trips before, they were worried and always had Chase come up to keep me company. They never seemed worried about Chase at all. Sure, if he wants to linger, I can't be bothered to pay him any mind. I went to wash up, and after I was done, I got into bed to play on my phone. After a while, Chase went in to take a shower by himself. This guy really treats my home like his own. Before long, he came out. Bare-chested, he directly opened the door to my room. I was startled and shouted, What are you doing? Did you not see me just come out of the shower? I mean, why aren't you wearing clothes? It's too hot right after a shower. Then why are you in my room? And still naked? He leaned slightly forward, looking at me. Do you know what it means to be naked? Or should I show you? Chase, you pervert. He laughed recklessly. I glanced with my eyes and secretly swallowed. I have to say, this guy is not only handsome, but also has such a great physique. 8-pack abs, broad shoulders, and a narrow waist. Isn't this better than the abs guys I've seen online? Especially since the real thing is right in front of me. I suddenly became curious. My gaze turned lewd in an instant. I cleared my throat. Since it's right in front of me, it wouldn't hurt to give it a squeeze. Now he was left dumbfounded. I got up to touch his abs. He was so scared that he covered his chest and started to run away in all directions. Don't be afraid. Sister will just touch a little, it won't hurt. Don't run away. What's wrong with me touching a little? Zoe, you must be the pervert. If you won't let me look at the muscular guys, then let me touch them. Once I touch them, I won't look anymore. As soon as the words left my mouth, I tripped over myself. Yes, you read that right. I fell straight out, and my head hit the corner of the coffee table. Talk about bad luck. I could trip over my own left foot. With a scream, Chase turned and rushed over to check. Zoe, what's wrong? I didn't know if it was the pain or the feeling of being wrong today. I just sat on the ground crying, feeling sadder and sadder. Chase nervously asked from across. Where did you fall? Speak up, is it very painful? I just kept crying and didn't say a word. Chase looked at me like this and directly picked me up. Let's go to the hospital. I sobbed and said, No, I'm fine. He had no choice but to hold me and return to bed first. Then he went to get the medicine box and carefully helped me treat the wound on my forehead. I gradually calmed down as well. He saw that I had calmed down. His tone softened as he asked, Are you sure you didn't hurt anywhere else? I nodded. Don't lie to me, okay? Then tell me, why were you so sad just now? I really don't know how to say it. Besides, I'm not that clear about it myself. I replied, I don't know either. Are you feeling better now?
No.
Then let me touch your abs. Will that help? I suddenly looked up, my eyes shining. Then the two of them laughed out loud together. I wanted more. Just having abs wasn't enough. I also needed biceps. No problem. You can touch whenever you want. That's not allowed. Only when it's just the two of us. Are you afraid of being seen by your group of fangirls? How could that be? What do they have to do with me?
Cut.
That night, Chase was worried about me and slept on the floor in my room. But later, when I woke up in the morning, he was lying in my bed. My roommate even saw it. Early in the morning, Jasmine called for a group video chat. She and her parents were traveling abroad for National Day and had promised to give us a live broadcast. But unexpectedly, the international hotline came in early. I groggily answered the call, and there was Chase, shirtless, appearing in the corner of the video. Well, this is great. I just turned it into a live broadcast. The group chat exploded. What's going on? Is that guy Chase? You two? Are you two together now? I turned around and faced his fair, clean body.
Wow.
Let's not talk about it for now. I'm hanging up the video call and throwing a few punches nearby. Chase, get up. He rubbed his eyes. Why are you hitting me? You've got some skills now, sleeping in my bed. He just woke up and casually replied to me, I didn't do anything, just kept you company while you slept, and you won't even let me sleep in the bed. So stingy. Others have already seen it. He whispered, what's the big deal? Anyway, what about later? Anyway, you still have to sleep with me tonight. What the hell? Are you asking for a slap? Your mother said they will be back in 2 days. As he spoke, he got up and got dressed. What bad luck I have to be neighbors with this person. The group chat is already blowing up. Zoe, come out quickly. Honestly confess. What happened last night? No hiding. Oh, my old heart, if you don't speak up soon, I'm going to have a heart attack and die. I just took a screenshot, and that kid can't deny it now. It's still you. Remember to share it. Me. What am I thinking? I just took a nap. Nothing happened. No way, it doesn't look like that's possible. There shouldn't be a problem, right? What are these people thinking? Can it just be pure friendship? However, their words did remind me. Chase really doesn't have feelings for me. Sharing a bed so casually, he really sees me as just a buddy. Thinking of this, I felt a bit down. Chase went out to buy breakfast and came back with a bunch of my favorite foods. But I don't seem to have much of an appetite. I just ate a few bites and then stopped. What's wrong? Is that all you're eating? That's not like you. Chase stuffed his mouth full of pie. He had no appetite. If you don't eat, I will. Saying this, he shoved the leftover pancake I had into his mouth. This person always acted so casually, always doing things that could be misunderstood. I was really upset. Why should he be there leisurely while I was overthinking everything? So I asked, "Hey, are you missing a few screws?" He looked at me innocently with his big round eyes. How do you have no sense of boundaries at all? What's wrong? If you have a girlfriend in the future, will you still sleep in the same bed with me, eat a pancake together, and drink a cup of soy milk? Then just don't have a girlfriend. How is that possible? We will eventually each have our own families. This can easily lead to misunderstandings. He paused for a moment, his expression darkening. Are you trying to distance yourself from me? No, what I mean is, can we maintain a certain distance between men and women? He was silent for a long time. He stood up, walked to my side, and looked down at me, his gaze serious and earnest in a way I had never seen before. On the contrary, it made me a bit scared. What are you doing? I just said to keep a little distance. It doesn't have to be so serious, right? His gaze shifted slightly. So, if we were to be boyfriend and girlfriend, would that mean we could stop keeping our distance? Boyfriend and girlfriend? Is it the kind of boyfriend and girlfriend that I understand? Before I could ask, he continued, it's the kind of boyfriend and girlfriend that you understand. My heart tightened. But there must be an emotional foundation, right? Isn't 19 years of emotional foundation enough for us? That's different. It takes two people to mutually like each other. His gaze suddenly narrowed. I can wait. After all, I've waited for 19 years.
Oh.
My mind went blank in an instant. Did I hear that right? Is he confessing? What do you mean? Are you really going to miss this chance until you like me? Isn't it? Don't you like Evelyn? I've never judong said I liked her. It was you who forced me to say it. Then, why did you stuff a love letter into her drawer? If I said I made a mistake, would you believe me? Can I believe it? Absolutely impossible. Then why didn't you say anything at that time? You were so sure that I liked her, and I didn't even know you well. You wanted the whole school to know. And, on the day I slipped you the note, I heard you telling someone else that you wouldn't even like me if you liked dogs, and you also said you didn't like others chasing you. I originally wanted to take the note back, but it was too late. After seeing Chase slip the note that day, I immediately told my best friend. She looked incredulous and insisted that Chase liked me. She even asked if I had any feelings for Chase. At such a time, I definitely couldn't admit it. Moreover, we had just argued in the morning, and I said, I like dogs, but I won't like him. Later, my best friend asked me, so if Chase confessed to you, would you accept? I said, the person I like would definitely tell him directly. I don't like someone clingy like Chase. Then why do you keep sending her things? Wasn't it you who forced me to send them? Besides, if I don't send them, I'll expose myself. Okay, it's all my fault. I dug my own pit, so I have to jump in myself. So, will you give me a chance? I looked up and met Chase's intense and eager gaze, wanting to know the answer. Let me tell you a secret. He leaned down and I whispered in his ear. Actually, I've liked you for a long time. He was initially taken aback, then smiled broadly. After a while, he seemed to remember something and said, so what do you mean by suddenly saying in the morning that you want to keep your distance from me? Are you fooling me? I awkwardly replied in a low voice. My roommate said that you shared a bed with me last night and nothing happened. Maybe it's not that you don't like me, it's just that you can't. I just wanted to say. Chase wrapped his arms around my waist, leaning down to look at me, his breath swirling in my ear. Zoe, it seems something has to happen to prove my feelings. I am not this. Before I could finish speaking, warm lips had already covered mine. Then it became increasingly heated. I felt wrapped tightly in his breath. I gasped for air. The morning sunlight filters through the gaps in the curtains, intertwining with our shadows, two fervent hearts beating and merging. Each time feels like a touch of the soul, desire quietly burning in the morning light. After officially becoming a couple, Chase completely let himself go. Like a clingy person, he wanted to carry me around and show me off to everyone at school. There are still quite a few fans watching him play basketball. Some girls come up to offer him water. He always has a smug look on his face while hugging me, the kind that says he has a girlfriend and won't break up. Someone asked him for Facebook, and he would raise his head. "Why don't you add my girlfriend? You two can chat." I thought to myself, he really knows how to get me involved. My life hasn't changed much. It's just that I have a fixed way to admire his abs. When we don't meet, I often lie in the dorm and tease him. No matter how many rivers and mountains there are, it's all about feelings. "Let me see your abs, is that okay?"
No.
There are countless men in the world, but I love looking at your abs. "No peeking. Why won't you let me see it? Then I'll go look at someone else." "No way."
Come back.
"Is it not okay for me to show you?" Only one semester has passed, and neither of our parents knows. Given my parents' personalities, if they found out we were together, they would probably want us to get married on the spot. So, before going home for the winter break, I reminded Chase not to expose himself. During the New Year, both families had dinner at my house. I deliberately didn't sit with Chase, and I didn't dare to look at him the whole time. I was afraid he would go wild again and show off like a peacock. In the middle, he passed me a big chicken leg. I politely said, "Thank you." He politely replied, "You're welcome." It's all about give and take. My mom looked at us in confusion and said, "Why are you two being so polite? Didn't you used to fight over food?" Chase's mom sighed and said, "I don't think there's any hope. These two just don't have any chemistry. They used to tease each other to build their feelings, but now that they're in college, they've become distant." My mom nodded in agreement. "Zoe, with your fierceness, any boy who likes you should come to me for matchmaking during the new year." "Are you kidding me? How old am I, and you're already talking about matchmaking for me?" I silently complained. A few parents were talking back and forth, completely unconcerned about whether the person involved was present. After dinner, the adults were chatting in the living room. I hurried into my room, afraid of being caught, and dragged into another discussion about life's big issues. Chase followed closely behind me and even closed the door to the room. "Why did you close the door?" Chase suddenly hugged me from behind, resting his chin on my shoulder. "You've made something of yourself, giving me a green hat, huh?" I didn't say I would go. "No way, there has to be a punishment. Let me kiss you quickly." He wrapped his arms around my waist with a spoiled expression. "Quick, let go, or we'll be discovered." "I don't care. How can I not let my boyfriend kiss me?" "I can't resist. I can only let him pin me against the wall and kiss me." His voice is hoarse. "Baby, it feels like we're having an affair, a bit thrilling." After that, Chase came to my room to play with me every day. Finally, one day, my mom came in with fruit and directly opened the door. She caught me sitting on Chase, being held by him, and kissed on the head. Our affair was completely exposed. 4 parents sat in a row in the evening, and the two of us sat opposite each other, resembling a courtroom scene.
Speak.
When did this happen? My mom's voice pierced through the air. It was this semester. You're really bold now, even daring to hide your relationship. His mother. Look at what you've become. Zoe is a girl. Do you think it's just playing house like when you were little? Chase hurriedly explained. Uncle and Aunt, I truly like Zoe. I'm not just playing around. I will take responsibility for her. My mom said, then get engaged tomorrow and marry after graduation. His mom said, I think that's fine. In-law, I already checked this morning. That W restaurant in the city is fine. Yes, I think it's good too. Last time, Xiaowang's daughter was there. Alright, they started to have fun again, as if we had nothing to do with it. Later, after graduation, we got married. On the day of the wedding, Chase choked up and said to me, Zoe, I'm so lucky to have grown up with you slowly. I've been there for every important moment in your life, and I won't be absent in the future. Me, thank you for always loving me in your own way. You were my childhood sweetheart. You were my first love. You were the gentle flow of life, and thankfully, you have always been you.